Hello everyone, this is Johnny Orange, and today we're going to be talking about the short sword. And if I've learned anything from playing the short sword, it's not the size of the sword that matters, it's how you use it. That's right, we're starting off with a dick joke. That's because, I produce quality content on this channel. Nothing but the most highbrow comedy on here. We talk about dicks, vaginas, all the sexual parts, even tits. But before we go down that glory hole, let's actually talk about the skills the short sword uses. Starting off with the shield bash ability. Now what this does is a bunch of AoE slashing and blunt damage. It's not the widest of the AoEs, but it gets the job done. It's hard to get off all three strikes on enemy heroes. When you do manage to do that, they're going to be in for a world of trouble. It's also a reasonably good troop killer, and probably your best troop killer when you do play the short sword. Next up we have Kick, which is another 3-strike ability, but this one has a CC on the end. It knocks people over. Its damage is mostly single target. It's hard to get more than one person hit with this ability. And with the CC only kicking in on the third strike, literally kicking in, that's what the ability is called, it's very hard to land. Personally, I prefer Shield Bash. It's got a bit more AoE to it, and you never really land that third hit with Kick, so that CC really means nothing to me. If you are landing that third hit, then yeah, go it. It's pretty good then. The first skill we're going to be talking about is Iron Sights. This is one of my favorites. You can counter so much with this. Say your enemy charge is coming in, pop Iron Sights. Maybe they're popping an ult on you, pop Iron Sights. It counters so many things in this game. Mix this with one of your other skills called Shield Charge, and you can become a very good ranged killer. Because you have that massive amount of damage reduction, it buys you enough time to kill them all before they can kill you. Next up we have Throw Shields, which is basically the boomerang of Conqueror's Blade. They probably threw it in there to please the Aussie crowd. They're like, look, it's your national pastime of throwing sticks. For you non-Aussies who don't understand the greatness of a boomerang, basically, you pick up a stick, you bend it a bit, you throw it, and it comes back to you. In Conqueror's Blade, you don't even have to find the stick, instead you just throw your shield. I haven't tried this ability out too much, but I can see it being useful if you throw it down the line of spears. Also, it does speed you up and slow down the enemies. This can be handy for chasing down enemy heroes. The slow could also be enough to really stuff up an enemy charge by giving them that 50% speed reduction. Talking about charges, the next ability is Shielded Charge. This skill is so damn good, it gives you some mobility, knocks the enemy down, and follows it up with a big hit. Not only that, you do gain 90% damage reduction during the animation. This allows you to escape very easily, as well as attack gun lines and archers, etc. without getting blown to pieces. Especially if you pop Iron Sights after the charge. And you won't believe how many allies you can save by charging in there and knocking the enemy over. It's just a very versatile skill. It's hard to beat it. And it comes with only a 17-second cooldown, so you can be charging around the map all damn game. The last of the core abilities is Barricade, which is 2 very quick strikes. It also reduces the enemy's attack power by 40%. And if I've learned anything from playing the glaive, is that 40% attack power equals about 10% attack damage. Barricade also has a cooldown of 8 seconds, which makes up for its lack of damage. Not the greatest ability in the world, but also not the worst. It's just a quick bunch of strikes and reduces the enemy's damage by about 10%. Next up on the list we have one of the greatest ultimates,
Thunderstruck! 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 Thunderstruck!
That's right, it's such a strong ultimate, it comes with its own theme song. You're getting an AoE knockdown, which also does decent damage and reduces the damage you take for 3 seconds. And for a bit of a sprinkling on top, it also recovers you from stuns. Just an added bonus, throw that in there as well. When they were making this ability, they were just like, just throw everything in. Throw everything into the mixing bowl, we're making one great ultimate ability. Pair this with shielded charge, you can hit an enemy onto his ass, hit him with one of your strikes, go into thunderstruck, knocking him over once again, then straight into shield bash to finish him off. Once they're dead, you then get to use the catchphrase,
You've been thunderstruck. 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 Thunderstruck.
But that's enough of that, let's talk about the other ultimate, which is Centurion's Battle Drill. It staggers the enemy a bunch and does some damage. Clearly on bias, I have a favourite. I'm not the biggest fan of this one, so let's move into some gameplay. We start this bit of gameplay off by using that shielded charge to knock down this glaive player, following it up with shield bash. As you can see, the third strike is very hard to land, but the first two you'll get in after a shield charge. After that, it's straight into the shift attacks. What these do is stagger the opponent, slowing them down a bit. Once shielded is back off cooldown, I go in and get that kill. At this part of the game, what I'm trying to do is capture the supply point. That way I can summon in better troops than the Circe I'm using at the moment. The Halberdiers seem like a good choice in this location because I can block that entrance off and brace my unit there. Once they're on the battlefield, I get them to charge and I follow it up with a shielded charge of my own. We're all going in. And that's one thing I have loved about playing the short sword is you get to charge with your unit, reaching the enemy about the same time. Also, when things get a bit dodgy, maybe you're charged into a bad situation, you still have that iron sight to save your ass. Once I saw that explosion from the siege equipment, I got a bit worried and rolled out of the way. I was thinking, damn, they might have a cannon, they could have anything out there. I look around the corner, see it's a Scorpio and go, oh well, I don't give a shit about Scorpios, so I just keep on fighting. And then it's back to the original plan. I try to get the surviving halberds to set up, get that brace going. But saying that, there are a lot of enemies pouring in, and I don't think we're going to be able to hold it. But with those halberds in brace, they should take a fair amount of enemies down with them, especially with those spears up front absorbing the damage. It is getting a bit dicey though, the enemy just keeps respawning and attacking us. I go in with that shielded charge with iron sights on, but I've put myself deep into enemy territory. There's a chance to escape though, and I'm taking it. I'm on my horse, almost get away, but then it comes to a quick end. You know, sometimes plans just don't work out. Now let's fast forward a bit to get back into the action. Rowdy's up front and I'm not too far behind. I then spot a shadow, do my shielded charge, knocking them out of stealth. And that's what I mean by saying that ability is very versatile. You can help your allies out, as well as using it for chasing enemies down. At this stage it's just one giant brawl, and that's where Shield Bash really does shine. It's got those AoE attacks, and you get 3 of them. Also, you can use it to steal kills like that. Another very fun thing to do. Once again, I've popped iron sights. My health isn't very high, but once that ability is up, I don't have to worry about dying very much. We have a little bit of a chase here. I end it with shielded charge. It's very good at doing that. After this, I jump on my horse to get another fresh bunch of troops. And I bring the pikes, who I do love to save towards the end. They have one of the strongest charges, if not the strongest charge in the game, as you can see. Their one big downside is that the charge is on a long cooldown, especially when you compare it to some of the sword units. So I like to charge in, then pull them out, wait for that cooldown to be back up, and hopefully the next one I can use to try to help end the game. We now have our skills back up and there's a big gap in the enemy line, so I'm going to take advantage of that, try to move to the left of the spears and charge anyone trying to hide behind them. Another thing to note about pikes, if you start mowing them down and they have their cooldown up, you're in for a world of pain. Unless you're a short sword user and then you don't give a shit. That's what makes this weapon so damn good. You pop that iron sights and you can actually survive such a devastating attack. As you can see, it killed a bunch of people. And then I started wondering what happened to my unit. It turns out, yeah, trebuchets. So that was good. Luckily, we do have a lot of blue heroes on the cap, so we might not need the unit. And that's basically the end of this game. It's just a bit of cleanup now. Another thing the short sword is actually reasonably good at, mostly because of shielded charge. This weapon has been a bunch of fun to play, it's very tanky and easy to pick up the basics of it. I'd highly recommend it to new players. You have that survivability, which allows you to escape death untold times, and its damage isn't that bad. It's actually reasonably good. Anyway guys, that's the end of this game. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe and thumbs up and all that shit. But before you go, I have one last important thing to share with you guys. And that is that NoctemInvictus is currently recruiting. Just go to house list, enter NoctemInvictus with a capital N and a capital I. We are based in the North American servers and we are in the Osteria region. Thanks to you guys, we're up to 31 members and leveled the house up to level 2. So a big thank you to all you bastards. Thanks for joining and I'll see you next time.